Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, as always. I'm Gage Samoji. He's Emerson Hip, and this is the Intoxicated Sports Report.
And it's also big NFL show today.
Big NFL show.
You excited as I am? Anyway, as excited as I am. I can't talk today.
Plays like Zion.
Yeah, Zion's coming to the Warriors. Did you hear
Yeah.
Zion is back, though.
How you doing, man? You good?
Good.
We're kind of working on a short week here.
Yeah.
Just by a day.
6 days off instead of 7.
Not too bad. Mm-hmm. Work schedule a little different this week?
Not really. I mean, we actually had our employee appreciation party yesterday, which was fun. Good
awesome.
times, yeah.
Was it at Norman Rose?
It was at Norman Rose, yeah.
So did you guys close early?
We just closed the restaurant for the day.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yep.
Did you guys get food catered and stuff?
Chef cooked up some mean tacos for us.
You're telling me the chef had to cook on appreciation?
He was very nice of him to do that. I mean, all of it was done before everyone got there, essentially, but...
Oh, so he was able...
He wasn't doing it on the fly.
He was able to enjoy it with you guys?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
I thought
I honestly didn't know that was happening. I thought we were having someone come cook for us, but regardless.
That's fun.
Thanks, Chef, for all
Cocktails?
your hard work. Well, we did do some shots of tequila and some beer and some wine.
You know,
it was supposed to be just beer and wine, and then Boss Cage was like, all right, you guys can have some tequila.
There we go.
We broke out the karaoke machine, played some beer pong later.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, jeez,
It
really?
was fun night, yeah.
I would love to just look in there real quick to see what was going on.
I really want to know what people thought, when they were walking by. What the hell is this restaurant doing?
Did you guys play beer pong in the back room?
Yeah, right up front.
Oh, really?
Main dining room. Yeah.
That's funny. I like that. Good for you guys. That's fun.
Yeah, no, it was good.
I like that.
It's good stuff.
What?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the intro.
Yeah. Well, we have college football playoff starts tomorrow, so I figured
Yes.
we wouldn't want to do this during the second half of that game.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, we'll be recapping the regular season of the NFL today and previewing the postseason. And we got Q&A, which is going to be fun. Always love a good Q&A.
It's a good, we need a kind of a filler for this episode.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So we got Q&A going. So thank you for everybody who asked questions.
Absolutely. Also, just opened up the NFL Playoff Bracket Challenge, so if you feeling sad about your CFP bracket...
I am.
Yeah, you can come and join the NFL Playoff Bracket. Another $10 entry. Same dealio.
I say this now, but I'm going to feel a lot more confident when I join this and do this. I feel like I have a better...
Well, you watch the NFL one.
Yeah, I have a better, gauge on
nice.
the NFL than I do college football.
Right.
But please join. Hopefully we can get... How many people do we have for the college one? About 15, 16?
17, I believe it was. Yeah, 17.
So please join us.
Dude, I think we had 30 last year for the NFL one, if I'm not mistaken.
We did.
Something close to that.
It was a lot. So please, we'll probably shoot a couple more...
Oh, yeah, we'll send it out there again.
Yeah, send it out there again.
Got to get your picks in by Saturday morning.
Yes.
When that first game starts, I believe. Who was the first game? Chargers-Texans?
The Texans have only played on Saturday when they made the wild card.
Is that right?
Well, I'm sure they've only ever played in the wild card because I don't think they've ever had the 1 seed since they've been a team.
Right.
But yeah, I heard they've only played the Saturday morning games.
That's funny. Did C.J. Stroud didn't win their first ever playoff game last year, did he?
Their first ever one?
Or did Matt Schaub or one of them get one?
That's a great question.
I feel like that would have been news, and I wouldn't that would have been known.
Yeah.
Schaub must have snuck in a wild card win. Oh, you know what? The Texans beat the Raiders. Remember that
when Derek Carr went
Derek
down.
Carr was hurt. Yeah.
But I don't even know who the quarterback was for.
It was someone random. It was TJ whatever his face was.
No.
Who was his name?
I don't know.
We're totally rambling right now.
You know who started for the Raiders? Connor Cook.
Yes.
Because Derek Carr got hurt. Yeah. Yes. I can't remember the Texans quarterback. I remember Connor Cook playing though.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we know that's not the case. Yeah.
Also, we're drinking a variation of what we had last week. I'm surprised did you put anything in there?
I didn't.
Okay.
I drank plenty yesterday.
Okay.
So
another
sober episode.
Another sober episode. I'm going to go to January at least. Might go a little further than that. Who knows?
Yeah.
But these are good.
Yep.
Thank you for joining me on this. Well, I guess you drank. You've been drinking.
So. I've been drinking. Yeah. It's not dry for me.
Nah. Damp? Or just completely...
A little more than damp.
Completely wet?
Yeah.
Not soaking.
It's like when you take a towel, get it really wet, and then you bring it out. That's where I'm at.
Okay. I can respect that. And with that being said, the NFL Week 18 recap. Baltimore Ravens beat the Browns 35-10 on Saturday. Clinched the AFC North. Not much of a surprise there.
Yeah.
The Browns have had much worse of a season than I thought they would.
I know, 3 wins.
Hey, looking back on my preseason predictions.
Yeah, right. They were definitely one of my bigger whiffs.
Good for the Ravens. In my opinion, I think they have the best They're the best wins on paper.
Yeah, they had a lot of good ones.
They have a lot of
good ones.
Wins against double-digit teams.
Yeah.
So
I think they beat 7 teams that made the playoffs this year. So
yeah.
That's pretty big stuff.
The Buccaneers beat the Saints 27-19. Remember this when the Saints were 2-0? I do.
We're gonna say that every week.
Best 2-0 team ever.
Yeah.
They clinched the NFC South. The Buccaneers did. Mike Evans, who's my player of the week, spoiler, recorded his 11th consecutive 1,000-yard season, tying Jerry Rice for the longest such streak. It's one of the most under the radar Hall of Fame careers that I think I can remember.
Right.
And I think it's weird for even me to say that he's already a Hall of Famer because, the numbers don't lie. They're there.
Yeah. No, he's going to be in.
Because I remember Johnny Manziel slinging it to him at A&M.
Right.
So, we're getting old.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't that long. I mean, it was probably, 10, 12 years ago.
Right. I mean, honestly, even as productive as a player as he's been, that him in college was probably his, biggest moment before winning a Super Bowl eventually with Tom Brady, you know. Because that team was pretty loaded at Texas A&M.
And you got to think, it's impressive what Mike Evans has done given the quarterback play that he's dealt with.
Right.
Like Jerry Rice, he had Joe Montana, Steve Young throwing to him.
Right.
I mean, you can't really beat that.
No.
But Mike Evans didn't have that.
No.
So the fact that he's able to do this to me is very impressive, and I hope he gets 1,000 next year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
To have his record to himself.
And also impressive that he did it in a year where I think he missed 3 or 4 games too. So good for him.
Yeah. The Broncos rolled the Chiefs B team. I like how you put that there. 38-0, clinching the AFC wildcard spot. Do you like the idea, or the idea of the Chiefs did this on purpose so they can avoid Cincinnati possibly in the playoffs?
I mean, if they go on to win the Super Bowl and they admit that, hey, kudos to them. But
if that is the case, it's a brilliant chess move.
Right. I mean,
because the Bengals, your Super Bowl pick, by the way, isn't in the playoffs.
Right.
They needed the Jets to lose, Jets to lose. Yeah, the Dolphins to lose.
Yeah, they needed Dolphins lose.
And Broncos lose.
Yeah.
So they got one half of that.
Right.
Unfortunately, the Chiefs were like, sorry.
Yeah, we're good.
Didn't even try. I didn't watch any of this game. I think it was on TV.
It was 14-0 right out the gate, and then the Chiefs just had nothing for them offensively, or defensively for that matter.
Not really surprised. The Chiefs had nobody going out there. Right. But congrats to the Broncos. I didn't think they had a shot to even get close to the playoffs this year.
Oh, coming in? Yeah. No, I had them in last place in the AFC West. So very wrong on that one.
The Lions beat the Vikings 31-9. Thank you for the cover. Clinching the NFC North and the number 1 seed in the NFC. Probably the first time in their history.
Gotta be, right?
I don't guess it is.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
And the most wins in their franchise history.
Yeah.
The Vikings...
Tough loss.
All of a sudden, the Vikings now, people are saying, can they beat the Rams at home?
Yeah.
Or beat the Rams on the road?
Right. Already lost to them in the regular season.
And that's a tough poll. I mean, obviously this game was tough for the loser no matter what because you're going for the 1 seed and all of a sudden you're the 5 seed. Winning 14 games, being the 5 seed, it's ass.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah. Can you really think about going into the final week of the season being 14-2 and you don't have even your division locked up, let alone first a home game in the playoffs?
Well, then you pull the Rams card, and people always give the Rams benefit of the doubt because yes, you have Stafford who is still a good player.
Yeah. They won the Super Bowl not that long ago.
It's more. I think it's more of the Sean McVay factor. Like, you got to face Sean McVay, who's clearly the boy genius. Like that whole thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not confident in the Vikings. I'm not sure how confident the Vikings fans are in the Vikings.
Probably, this weekend. A little uneasy going into the playoffs.
Especially since Sam Darnold, he didn't do himself any favors.
Has worst game, yeah.
Had his worst game of the season.
Wouldn't matter.
And the biggest game of his career.
Right.
So, I don't know. We got to see.
Yep.
I'm saying this now, but would I be surprised on Saturday, Sunday, whatever they play, if the Vikings roll them?
No.
I guess not.
I think on paper they're the more talented team. There's no question, but sometimes it comes down to coach and quarterback, like you just mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. So, player of the week, I already said mine. I said Mike Evans. You make history. And also, this was kind of a weird week to pick players.
Yeah.
Because some teams didn't play the whole thing.
I totally forgot to think about who my player of the week was going to be.
You can just say Lamar Jackson.
Joe Burrow.
And a loss?
Yeah. No, they won.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, Lamar. Honestly, Lamar. Or how about the fat guy that scored the touchdown for the Ravens? I'll give it to him. I don't even know his name. I got 4 players of the week.
Just give it to the Ravens
as
a team.
As a team. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Season's over. Regular season's over. It's in there.
Yeah, thank God.
It was
Tough.
a weird season.
Tough for both of us.
Yeah. Honest, and
if you would have told me to begin the season that the Cowboys would end up with a better record than the Niners, I would have called you crazy. But that is the facts. The Niners beat us.
Yep.
Absolutely. But when you look at the record, you'll see the Cowboys at 7, Niners at 6. Did not see that coming.
6 wins, what did I say?
Hey.
I never put my name on it, but I did say it.
There we go.
All right, so let's recap last week's picks.
Yes, let's do it.
Gage, nice finish to the season for you.
Go.
Where is my document? There she is. You went 2-1. Only loss was Cincinnati. They won by 2. Needed 3.
Yep.
Tough one. But nonetheless, plus $200. I went 0-3, minus 600. And that gave you the overall season crown, so I'll put it on there for you.
Which was not feeling good the entire season, but it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
Absolutely. Gage 25-23 on the year, plus $200. I went 24, 22, and 2. So we both were exactly 2 games over 500, but it was only plus $100. Yeah. So you got me there. So by the slimmest of margins, you are the king.
Did I get you last year too? Yeah, I had a good year last year.
Yeah. You crushed me in college picks too. I think we both
wasn't the case this year for college. But I'll take that back-to-back crown.
Right. So
I don't know if you got me a couple years, 2 years ago.
I don't remember. Yeah.
We'll say yeah to make you feel better.
Yeah, I definitely did actually. Now that we think about it, so good for you. Congrats.
And that's the end of the regular season picks. We will be doing
some playoff picks. Yeah.
Playoff picks, which got interesting while we were doing them.
Yes, it was fun
in a little bit.
Yeah.
But before that,
final reveal of the NFL top 6.
Yeah, I like it.
Is
anything different?
It is, and admittedly, had a tough time really all season making my lists, but
I feel pretty damn good about mine.
I feel better than I ever have, and it came at the right moment. A clutch moment for me right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to make some changes that I didn't have or wouldn't have expected to be made
I made a swap, but besides that, my list is...
Yeah. So, I'll go first. Coming in at number 1, locked in from last week, Kansas City. I basically put them at 15-1, not really counting that last game. But they did finish 15-2. In the 2 spot, still Detroit, 15-2 on the season with another huge win against Minnesota to finish off the year. One of the harder strengths of schedule in the league that they had to face this year. So, and the best point differential. Very dominant team all year and one of the best offenses in the league. Number 3, surprise switch. I put Philly up to number 3. They did finish 14-3. They didn't really play a meaningful game in the last week, but I think looking at their total resume, they have a lot of really quality wins. They beat Green Bay, Baltimore, Washington, Pittsburgh, and LA. Strength of schedule was modest, but considering the other teams I was comparing them to, that being Buffalo, Minnesota, felt like Buffalo is who I had in the 3 spot before. Mm-hmm. But just looking at the overall resume, they didn't have quite as many quality wins as Philly. Everything was very close. Mm-hmm. But also, I know we talked about this, supposedly the committee takes into account head-to-head record against common opponents. Mm-hmm. My apologies. Record against common opponents. Philly beat 2 teams that beat Buffalo this year. Okay. So, and Buffalo did not beat any teams that beat Philly. So, so I thought that was kind of like, it wasn't the tiebreaker, but it was something that I felt definitely put Philly above Buffalo. Number 4 is Buffalo. I felt like, they beat Detroit, who beat Minnesota twice. So I couldn't put Minnesota above them. Mm-hmm. Minnesota just also didn't have a ton of quality wins. Mm-hmm. I feel like the Packers were probably their best one. So they're at number 5, and then coming in at number 6 is Baltimore at 12-5 with, like we talked about, one of the best resumes. They lost 5 games overall, so that's why they're not any higher, but great season for them all around.
I like your list because I do think the Bills are a better team than the Vikings, but in my list, ours is virtually the same except I have the Vikings at 4, Bills at 5.
Gotcha.
And a lot of that for me is just solely the fact that the Vikings have 14 wins and the Bills have 13.
Gotcha.
Everything you said I agree with. I went against what I usually do a few weeks ago. Didn't love it. Yeah. So I stuck with what I normally do, and I'm going to stick with it right now.
Gotcha.
So, because I do think,
So, like, would you have thought of it differently if Buffalo had won that game against New England, which they obviously like were not playing any of their top guns?
Yeah, because if they had 14 wins, I probably would have put them over the Vikings.
Yeah. I mean, honestly...
Which probably sounds a little ridiculous, but that's just what I would have done.
Yeah. Yeah, because I like when I'm... Like, maybe it's not totally fair because they got to a point that Minnesota was not, fortunate enough to be in, where they got to go into Week 18 with nothing to play for.
Yeah.
But I didn't hold those fourth losses for Buffalo and Philly against them.
Yeah.
Personally.
Because the Bills have two better wins. The Chiefs' Lions, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get, the Vikings did beat the Texans, the Bills lost to the Texans, like that kind of thing. It's really hard. Like, we definitely have the top three. I think that's indisputable.
Right.
And in the sixth spot, the 12-win Ravens, best resume in the league,
yeah.
in my opinion. Even their losses are good. Chiefs, Steelers, Eagles. But it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. I just stuck to, because I got too cute. Kind of like how you did with the Bills.
Yeah.
Had them at 3 for a little bit.
Yeah. I overthought that one.
Because wins do matter.
Yeah.
And I know the Bills didn't have all their guns playing, but
right.
That's just, I'm just rolling with this.
Yeah.
Like, are the Bills a better team than the Vikings? Yeah.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think the Bills can be a better team than the Eagles.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, none of this is like who I think the best team is, because I don't think Kansas City, if we were just going on like the power rankings, I probably wouldn't have them number one.
No.
But that's it. They're in the books.
Yep. Last top 6 of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It always goes quick because we do it late, so it always feels quick.
Right. Yeah, we start. I think we did week 13 was our first go around this year.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on to... What are we moving on to? Regular season recap.
Okay.
Here it is. Couple things in the head coaching world. Patriots fired Gerard Mayo. The Jaguars fired Doug Peterson. And the Raiders fired Antonio Pierce. Mayo and Pierce, first-year head coaches, done already. Obviously, Antonio Pierce was the interim head coach last year, but yeah, one and done for both those guys. Doug Peterson, not a super surprising fire. Considering that they were an ascending team just a couple years ago, and now here they are, missing the playoffs 2 years in a row, and would they win 3 or 4 games this year?
Yeah. The Peterson one's not surprising. The Pierce one, to me, isn't surprising because, like you said, he's an interim. Yeah. I mean, I did like his vibe, but I just don't think he's ready to be head coach.
Yeah, I felt like with him and Mayo, both those teams... Like, it's a little unfair, but both those teams hired those guys probably knowing that they weren't going to be the guy of the future.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're taking a flyer that they do end up being the guy of the future, but I think they both those franchises knew that wasn't going to happen.
Well, yeah, the Mayo one, I saw on Twitter a lot of people did not like how they did this to him.
Right.
Because, maybe, obviously we're not in the organization, we don't know, but maybe he was just a filler guy.
Yeah.
But because the Pats... I don't think this should be a reflection on Gerard Mayo because I don't think anyone thought the Patriots were going to be that good anyway.
No. And I mean, you could say the same about the Raiders, too.
A lot of people are also saying that this is going to be Mike Vrabel's job for the Patriots.
I could see him getting it. It sounds like they're going to interview Ben Johnson as well.
And I also saw Bob Kraft talking to the media, and he was like, oh, I mean, this is not word for word, but I feel bad for him. I'm like, weren't you the one to make the decision?
Right. Yeah, it's...
Weren't you the one to make the decision to hire him and then fire him? Because who else is making decisions besides him?
It is weird.
Because is Bob Kraft the GM of the Patriots?
No, he's the owner.
Okay, but...
No, they have... I think they have a team president or something.
But I'm sure if, like, the GM or whatever...
Well, Rubber Kraft's the guy paying him, so he's definitely part of the decision.
Yes, okay. So, and I think it's got to hurt Gerard Mayo because he was a Patriot.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just kind of... It's not... I don't like it. It stinks.
Yeah. Feels a little unfair, but...
And where the Pats even going to go? I mean, I don't know. Bob Kraft should know in his heart that the glory days are done.
Right.
Unless you happen to strike gold twice and get another Tom Brady or Bill Belichick or both. But I just don't think it's in the realistic.
I think Vrabel would be the move, but I just wonder if Vrabel's even interested in this position at this point. I think the Bears are a more interesting job opening. Even Jacksonville is probably more interesting. The Giants announced that they're keeping Brian Dable and I forget their GM's name, but I like that. Tom Telesco, I believe it is.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, if Brian Dable has had success as maybe not really a head coach, but he was a really good coordinator for the Bills. So if they get the quarterback right, they've never really had a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he made Daniel Jones look better than he was for a short time. But if they can get the quarterback position right, they could turn this thing around. But he's going to have to show something this year because obviously if your owner has to come out and say that you're staying with the team, that means that you were probably on the hot seat already.
Well, the Giants did themselves no favors, like I said last week, by not getting number one pick.
Right. Well, yeah, they blew that, but
I mean, you can still get a quarterback. You could get a quarterback in the third round. You can get a Brock Purdy.
Right. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was the 10th pick. It wasn't like he was number one. Exactly. So.
But you're telling me Brian Daboll is getting more of a chance, and Gerard Mayo gets the boot?
Well, I think part of it's a little track record, but yeah, no, the Gerard Mayo situation's a little fucked. But I don't think anyone thinks that he was going to be the guy. I think that's the biggest point. You boys, the Cowboys, they're undecided on Mike McCarthy at this point, and the Bears requested an interview for him, which is interesting, and that was denied. But that is because technically he's still under contract with the Cowboys for like another week or something like that. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it does seem a little more likely that he stays with the Cowboys, which is interesting in its own right. I mean, do you want them to just cut bait?
Yes.
Just like that.
It. I mean,
or do you want them to see who else is out there before they decide? I don't know if it's that simple, obviously, but they kind of did this to Jason Garrett once, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
I guess the smart thing would be the second thing that you said is to keep him until they maybe find somebody better who they feel better in. I'm done. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I know what it is. I'm done with it. I don't care if he's won a Super Bowl. It's not what I care about. He didn't win it for us.
Yeah.
He won it in our stadium, but he didn't do it for us.
It is interesting that since he's been the Cowboys head coach, they've had the second best offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which obviously hasn't turned out in playoff success, but
it's really hard because like a part of me is just like cut bait to New Year, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe get who's the coordinator for the Lions?
Ben Johnson.
I almost said Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
That's the lead singer of the AC/DC.
Right. Well, I mean, shouldn't they be going hard after Mike Vrabel? I feel like he's one of the top. Or what about Pete Carroll? He wants to coach. He's like really wants the Bears job apparently.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I think the other funny one is Rex Ryan. Like he's going to interview with the Jets, I guess tomorrow. I hope that happens. I really want it to happen.
That'd be amazing.
Like him back in front of the microphone, just being a jackass is going to be great.
Perfect world. Perfect world. Realistic. Lincoln Riley.
Oh, you like him that much, huh?
I mean, I would like to have Kyle Shanahan. I know you can talk shit, but I'd love to have Kyle Shanahan.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I do. I am sure. But in the realm of possibility, Lincoln Riley. Why not?
Interesting. What about David Shaw? I heard he's interviewing for a head coaching position.
I think he's a smart guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when he changed the offense at Stanford, that's when it went downhill for him. I just wonder what he would do. I mean, he's been out of the game for a couple of years, so maybe he's just been doing some studying.
Or maybe the old head coach for the Cardinals.
Oh, Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah, I wouldn't love it, but...
Yeah. Be taking him out of the division, though. Yeah. We'll see what they do. All right, so this is in the regular season recap section, but we are going to look towards the future. We're going to talk about the Cowboys and Niners opponents in 2025 since both teams are out of the playoffs.
So I know the Niners got to play the games.
Yeah.
But your guys' schedule looks cupcakey as it should be because you're a fourth place team.
Right. Yeah. No, it definitely on paper it looks winnable.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, the toughest teams that we play are going to be Tampa, who is one of the worst first place teams. Houston, another one of the worst first place teams. I'm not talking division, of course. And then after that, that's pretty much it. The home schedule is cheeks. We got the Bears, who could improve. We got the Titans, probably still going to be ass. Jags, Trevor Lawrence, probably still going to be ass. Panthers, probably still going to be ass. Falcons, Michael Penix, average team at best. Yeah. Then the road schedule. I mean, we got the Browns, the Colts, the Saints, the Giants. It's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, they should make the playoffs. I know they're probably gonna have a lesser roster.
They're gonna win the division next year. with that kind of schedule. I know you got to play and things happen, but
I don't want to say it's that easy to say that, but they should win 10 of those games, right?
Yeah, I think so. So the reason why we're talking about this in the first place is because I wanted to mention the Cowboys schedule. Yeah. So do you know the schedule? Have you seen it?
I saw it. It's not easy. Yeah.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Like the home schedule is really tough. The away schedule, there's some easier ones.
I don't even care about the home and away schedule.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the Cowboys get a third place schedule, which you would think should be in theory somewhat easy.
Yeah.
So, but they're lucky enough to pull the AFC West and the NFC North. So you're telling me they got to play the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos in the AFC West. All playoff teams.
Yep.
Vikings, Packers, Lions, also all playoff teams. So if you're keeping score at home, that's 6 playoff teams.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you're going to laugh. You might laugh at me about this. They play the Cardinals at AT&T Stadium, where Kyle Murray has never lost in his entire life. So that's potentially another loss. Yeah. And then, of course, you got to play the Eagles and Commanders twice in the division. Yep. 2 other playoff teams. The Cowboys might have worse record next year. I'm going to tell you, Gage's guarantee is going to be on fire next year.
You could have 6 picks.
I could pick Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Vikings, Packers, Lions, and be okay with all those being losses. And I couldn't even throw the Cardinals one as a little kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that brutal?
I mean,
that's a brutal pull.
You know that it's not like random though, right? It's a cycle.
But it's
tough.
That's a tough pull for a third place team. Yeah. You got to play 8 playoff teams from last year. They're going to lose all of those games. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I feel confident about them winning.
They'll win at least one of those 8 games.
They'll probably could split the Commanders and Eagles.
Yeah.
But that's just, I saw that and I was like, my dad sent me the schedule and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like it one bit. It stinks.
The other thing too, though, is like, yeah, sure, the schedule, we could say the Niners schedule looks easy. Some of those teams could get much better.
Yes,
and much worse.
Things happen. You got to play games. Yeah. But man, just looking at it for what it is right now, that sucks for the Cowboys.
Definitely a tough one.
That is a tough pull. So I just had to get it off my chest. Thank you.
All right, let's review our regular season predictions. You have your notes ready there, partner?
Yeah.
Excellent. Me as well. Just going to do that. Let's see. Do you nail any teams on the nose for wins?
I nailed 2.
2?
1 for each conference. The Rams at 10-7 and the Texans at 10-7.
Okay.
What about you?
I got 4.
Damn.
I got the Colts at 8-9, the Packers 11-6, Rams 10-7, and the Cardinals 8-9.
Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's only 4, and like you say, only 2, but that seems like about right. Yeah. It's really, you're probably going to get a couple, but getting much more than that, pretty hard. I got
I was going through it and I was like, God damn, I did not do good at that.
Yeah, I was only 1 off on a bunch of teams, though.
I
think like 7 or 8 teams, I was only 1 off.
I noticed that, too.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest whiffs were, I had the Niners winning 11, Seahawks winning 6. I had the Chiefs only at 11. I kind of forgot I had them that low. What was another bad one? Jacksonville, I had winning 9 games. Minnesota, 6.
I had a lot of whiffs, and I'll let you know for each conference. So the NFC, I had the Commanders at 6-11. They won 12 games. To me, that's a whiff.
Yeah, big time.
The Vikings at 6-11. Of course, they won 14 games. That's a huge whiff.
Yep.
The Niners made my biggest whiff of the year. I had them at 13-4. They won 6 games. I also have the Niners winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So that's a huge whiff. In the AFC, there's even more whiffs. Could you guess that? Mm-hmm. Jets at 12-5. They were 5-12.
You had them 12?
I had them winning the division.
I had them at 9. I was pretty sure you picked them to win the division.
And I got to give it to you and Dev. And Dev, who listens. I did not have the Bills making the playoffs, which is that might be the biggest whiff.
Yeah, that's a tough one. How many wins did you give them?
I gave them 9.
9, yeah. I gave them 10. So
okay, so not too far off. That's a bigger whiff than the Niners. Yeah, well, actually, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's not.
They're both up there.
I had the Steelers going 6-11. They won 10 games. It's a whiff.
Yeah, I had them at 8.
I had the Broncos going. Oh, no, Browns. Excuse me. Browns going 9-8. They went 3-14. That's a huge whiff. And then the Broncos, I had going 5-12. They went 10-7.
I had them 4-13. Yeah. I had no faith in them.
Correct playoff teams though. I had 4 for each conference. I had the Eagles, Packers, Rams, Lions.
Nice.
AFC, Ravens, Chiefs, Texans, Chargers. I'm proud of the Chargers pick. I'm proud of.
Yeah, I got the Chargers too.
Yeah.
The only ones I got wrong were the Jets, who else? Jets, Bengals in the AFC, so I got 5 out of 7 there. And then in the NFC, I got the Falcons, Niners and Cowboys wrong. So 4 out of 5 there. Or 4 to 7.
We were the same on the NFC.
Yeah.
I had the Dolphins making it.
Yeah.
Well, I had Jets, Dolphins, Bengals. They didn't make it.
Yeah. So 8 out of 14. I had 9 out of 14. Looking at all the over-unders, based on the record projection, if I predicted over, that was correct. I got 23 out of 32.
Damn.
Which is insane. I was not expecting that.
You should go to Vegas.
I know, right?
Damn.
Probably get 9 out of 32 the next time.
All right. What about the awards? How are your award predictions looking?
So I had Joe Burrow as my MVP. Honestly, the dude put up individually an MVP season. His team did not perform well enough around him to really put him in the conversation, but he's not going to win that, obviously. I had Aiden Hutchinson as my Defensive Player of the Year. He was having a Defensive Player of the Year type season before he got hurt. Caleb Williams, Rookie of the Year is not going to happen. Byron Murphy, Defensive Rookie of the Year is not going to happen. Jim Harbaugh, Coach of the Year, he's in the conversation, but it's probably going to be Kevin O'Connell, I would guess, from Minnesota.
Yeah. We got a few of the same ones I forgot about. So I had Joe Burrow as well, not going to happen. Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year. He has to win it eventually, right?
Yeah, it's probably not going to be this year.
So instead of winning the Defensive Player of the Year, he's on his podcast saying the Cowboys are going to hoist the trophy next year. Dude, I know we got a podcast and it stinks, but you're making stinky takes on yours too.
Yeah.
So please, stop talking about that. It's not going to happen. He must not have seen what the schedule is next year.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. He's talking about hoisting trophies.
Hey, if they get through that schedule and make the playoffs, they'll be battle tested. Give them that.
Yeah, and the Cowboys are not a battle-tested team historically.
No.
Since I've been watching it, at least. I had Caleb Williams as well. It's going to be Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I had Dallas Turner for the Vikings linebacker. His stats aren't good.
No.
Not going to win.
I guess Jared Verse is the favorite.
Okay.
Among the odds makers.
And then I also had Jim Harbaugh, which looks pretty good, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, if they had won a couple more games, maybe, but I think...
it's probably going to be...
I think Kevin O'Connell is probably the favorite, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else would be in there, but... maybe Dan Quinn?
I heard Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, yeah, that's a good call, too.
Yeah. So we were pretty close. I mean, we weren't close, but we had the similar predictions.
Yep. Yeah, we're not going to get any of those right, though.
No.
All right. So those are in the books. Do you have a Player of the Year?
Off the top of my head, I'm going to go with your boy Saquon Barkley.
Saquon? Yeah, I would say there's probably, off the top of my head, 4 candidates would be between Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon, and Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
Because he had a monster season.
God, when I texted you and Nick, 17 receiving touchdowns?
Yeah.
That's like 4 with Randy Moss.
And 1,600 yards.
That's a lot. That's a massive season.
Yeah, I'll go Lamar. He put up his best statistical season he's ever had, which I think is insane.
And is he going to win MVP again?
We'll answer that question in a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Don't want to spoil it.
That's true. On to Q&A. Look at us just whipping through this episode. Mm-hmm. This one's from Macha Dad. He has a couple. Macha Dad is a friend of the show, huge listener.
Yep.
He asks, Emerson, what are some of the main issues you want the Niners to address this offseason?
Well, they're off to a hot start, I'll tell you that. They fired Brian Snyder, who is the special teams coordinator. See ya. They fired Nick Sorensen. Well, they didn't fire him, but he's just not going to be the defensive coordinator anymore. See ya. And what else did they do? Oh, they're talking to Robert Saleh about being the defensive coordinator next year. Love that.
That was easy.
Now they are supposedly in the works on a Brock Purdy contract that they want to have done early in the offseason, whatever that means.
$60 million AAV, baby.
Don't know how I feel about that. But, I think if you get everybody healthy next year, Brock could bounce back. And honestly, I think his yards per attempt were still up there, as among the best quarterbacks. So I think just cleaning some things up, getting him some better protection, could be the world of difference. So off to a good start. Other than that, it sounds like they're going to retain Debo. I don't know if they're just saying that because they're going to try and field some trade offers for him, but I would love to see him gone, to be completely honest. I mean, that $24 million salary or whatever it is not worth the production that he is giving at this point. Draft an offensive lineman with their first pick. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. That would be one of the easy things to address. And just get better in the trenches. I mean, draft a bunch of offensive linemen and defensive linemen. I actually think the Niners should consider trading down in their first pick.
Okay.
I think depth would be huge for this team. And getting, they obviously came into this year expecting to be much better, so they expect to be drafting later than they're going to be. But you could also just use that to your benefit and trade down and acquire some more middle round picks.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts. But yeah, off to a good start. I think getting Sala would be a nice rejuvenation for that defense. Because some of those veterans would love to have him back, I'm sure. So yeah, I think that would be huge. Next question from Matcha Dad is for you. Same question, but different team, obviously. What are some of the main issues you want to see your boys address this offseason?
Jesus Christ.
All of them?
Everything. I want a new GM. I want a new owner. I want a new head coach. I want them to start drafting quarterbacks. Dak is not him. It's over.
What about Trey?
I would love to see more of Trey Lance. I mean, I know he didn't light it up over the weekend, but geez. Yeah. Also, Cooper Rush got the ass end of the deal because Jerry didn't want to pay him an extra $200,000. He cheapskate.
That was pretty cheap, yeah.
That was not cool.
Yeah.
I want them to. I would love to have Ashton Jeanty. Genty.
Yeah, not
Jeanty. God damn, I said Jeanty.
Ashton Johnny. Yeah, you want a running back first?
Yeah,
pick?
I do want. Well, I want a running back.
Yeah.
I want a running back. I kind of want the receiver. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's there, obviously. I want him to get healthy.
Yeah.
I would like a good, number 2. I think Brandon Cooks is that, but I just need, T. Higgins would be cool.
Yeah.
He is also injury prone. Maybe too much of a high number 2.
Yeah, he's going to get a good contract this year, this offseason.
The defense, I think, man, we shouldn't let Dan Quinn go. I'd like a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah. I'd
like the Cowboys to not play in a dome anymore. Seriously, you think
open it up, Jerry?
You think it's a joke? You think it's a joke? But dome teams are soft.
Hey, they're talking about the Chiefs moving to Dallas. They should just trade places. The Kansas City Cowboys. It kind of rings.
It kind of does. I mean, I don't know. It's
what about a better linebacker, like a coverage linebacker? Because I feel like they're kind of weak in the middle.
Yeah, I could do that too.
Yeah.
You can always use DBs.
Right.
I mean, I'd like the Cowboys to work on the offensive line still. It's not what it used to be.
Right.
Got to protect the quarterback. I think our special teams is pretty good, actually.
I mean, yeah, you got one of the best kickers, if not the best.
And then one of the best kick returners.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Turpin.
Yeah.
He's still there.
There's just... I want them just to blow it up.
Yeah.
Because it's just... We had a quote-unquote window, which I don't even think we had a window that was open.
Yeah.
Did the best we could with that. Did nothing with it. So I think it's time to. I know the clock's ticking on Jerry's life.
Right.
But
he does seem very old in those interviews.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, yeah, that's another thing. I'd like for him to stop talking to the media.
That's never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen. But number one thing, if I really had to say one thing, I do think a new head coach, a new regime.
Yeah.
I just need something different.
Just restart.
And I could say that, and I could regret it, and it could stink. But I just want something new.
Yeah. Because, realistically, they're stuck with Dak for at least one more season.
Yeah.
Because you can't cut bait after just signing him to a contract.
Yeah. So, I would just want a new regime.
Yeah.
New head coach. I don't want someone who's going to be like a puppet master. You know what I mean? I don't want someone who's just going to do what Jerry says, and that's just not going to happen.
They do seem a little stuck with Jerry being in control.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
So, moving on, Coco Thunder 3 asks, are the Lions the clear Super Bowl favorites? Why or why not?
I'm not even sure they're the clear NFC favorites, to be completely honest.
Would you say Philly?
I'd say Philly and them would be the two teams. Obviously, Philly's got to get the Jalen Hurts injury situation figured out.
Yeah, if he doesn't play this weekend.
Yeah. But yeah, I just all obviously the injuries to the defense are the biggest reason why they wouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
They can certainly light up the scoreboard, but another thing too is I hate to keep beating this dead horse that everybody else beats, but Dan Campbell can kind of be his own worst enemy in a way with his questionable aggressiveness and decision making. So that would be another factor. But obviously they're prolific offensively, so they're going to be in the hunt no matter what.
Yeah.
What say you?
So right now, I believe the Detroit Lions, am I reading that right? According to FanDuel Sportsbook, are the favorites.
To win the NFC or the Super Bowl? Interesting.
Plus 320. The Chiefs are second, 370. Ravens 550. So
that wouldn't be a clear favorite, but they are the favorites according to the FanDuel. Yeah.
I don't think they're the favorites. I think the Chiefs probably are the favorites. Probably should be the favorites.
Yeah, I think they should be. Yeah.
I'm not in love with their team, but they have 15 wins for a reason.
And they got number 15.
And they have number 15. There you go. I like that. I mean, I think the Eagles are better. I think the Bills are better. The Ravens, man, I'd be hard pressed not to pick the Ravens in the Super Bowl against the Lions.
That'd be tough. I mean, both teams don't have great defenses, but I would love to see that Super Bowl, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
That'd be a freaking track show.
Yeah. So I'd say clear cut, no, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely not clear cut. But I think they're a team I would like to see make it to the Super Bowl. I think, that fan base is so starved.
Yeah, right.
And they're a fun team to watch. So I think it'd be cool to see them make it all the way.
I think dreams are Super Bowl I want to see this year. Lions Bills would
be fun.
One teams that win their first Super Bowl.
Yeah,
be exciting.
Yeah.
Both are like you said, starved.
Yeah. Lions Ravens.
That'd be fun.
Would be cool. They're not going to go, but I think seeing Baker take the Bucs to the Super Bowl would be sick.
Or, no, you can't do that. I'd like to see Chargers Ravens.
Oh yeah,
Harbaugh.
Yeah, in the AFC Championship. Yeah. That'd be fun. I'm going to see Harbaugh. See him play against Andy Reid. I mean, the Chargers almost beat the Chiefs this year, so
nobody's going to say it. I'm going to do it. I wouldn't mind seeing the Chiefs try to go for the three-peat.
I think it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong. If they're playing the Lions, I'm probably leaning towards the Lions as far as who I'm rooting for in that situation.
Yeah,
but I think it'd still be really cool to see that history. If the Chiefs are playing the Eagles, there's no question I'm rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. Me too. I know a lot of Niner fans would be like, "Oh, fuck the Chiefs! They beat us twice." Get over that. Fuck the Eagles.
If the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, I'm rooting for them no matter what. Okay. For me,
gotcha.
Because you know how I feel about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They've done me a lot of favors the past couple of years. Okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I do. See, the three-peat would be.
It would be cool.
I don't know how many times we're going to be able to have that opportunity in our life to see that.
Right.
It just doesn't happen, or doesn't get close to happening.
Right.
So.
No, I'm with you on that. Next question is from Seven Waffles. Since your teams, meaning the Niners and Cowboys, are out of the playoffs, you're going to root for the Bills, right?
I mean, yeah, of course.
I don't like the assumption here, Miss Waffles. I definitely would support a Bills Super Bowl run.
Yeah, I would too, of course.
But
it's kind of like how I'm pulling for Texas right now. Yeah,
I'm definitely not.
I know you're not. But I am. Why not?
Yeah, but yeah, no, I definitely support a Bills playoff run. They're a team that doesn't have a Super Bowl. They got a great quarterback. I would love to see what kind of quarterback conversations would start if Josh Allen got a ring finally.
I know, right?
Same with Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Mahomes for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they were to win one, it's like okay.
All right.
This next question is from Colton Solis. He asks, "Who should be the Raiders' next coach?"
Who did I say? Tom Brady?
You said Tom Brady. Yes.
No, not actually Tom Brady. Bill Belichick.
They're actually. I think they.
There's talk about it. Yeah, and that would be so ridiculous for him to sign up with UNC and then not coach one single game.
It's a tough question. They should go for Ben Johnson.
I wouldn't hate that.
Not saying that he wants that job.
I mean, hey, maybe do you think Brady and Vrabel have a connection?
I think that's up there too.
I don't know. That another situation where Vrabel might say, "I'm not interested," just because of the roster composition and all that. But
who should be their head coach? John Gruden.
Gruden, bring him back.
Bring him back.
He's living life with Barstool right now.
No, he probably gets paid pretty well and doesn't have to do a quarter of the work.
And he gets to fuck around.
Yeah. I'd like to know his answer to this question.
Right.
Because coming from a Raider fan, the Cowboys have their own head coaching issues, but I guess I'm arrogant. I think any head coach would want to be the coach of the Cowboys.
Yeah. There's two problems. I mean, you got a cheap owner, and you're paying apparently 4 coaches right now because I think John Gruden's still getting paid. There's obviously Antonio Pierce and whoever was in between. Who was the guy that got fired last year? Oh, it was Dennis McDaniel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say Dennis Allen. No, that's for the Saints, right?
Yeah.
He was a Raiders head coach.
He was a long time ago, yeah. That'd be fun if he was one of them. No. But yeah.
It's tough. They could try to go Lincoln Riley route or...
Luring him out of USC to go be the Raiders coach, probably not on his radar.
No, probably not.
I wonder if he's even interested in the NFL at this point. But
could you Nick Saban?
Saban? No
I
way.
think he's smart enough to not
No
want to get that.
way.
That's just it's a name. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'd say the safe bet is try to get Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Since everyone's gonna be going for him.
Yeah. I could see him taking another job over them. They're just a franchise that's not on a good trajectory right now. They don't have a quarterback. They continuously are just abysmal. You know.
I saw a stat today that said the Raiders in the past 30 years have the most losses out of any NFL team.
Yeah, I believe
which
it.
is, I was saying at work today. I was like, I think I'd hate to be a Raider fan, but I'd still be a Raider fan over a Niner fan. My mom heard me say that, and she was like, you'd rather be a Raider fan than a Niner fan, really? She's like, you hate him that much? I'm like, I'm too far gone.
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot be a Niner fan under any circumstance. Because I like wearing black, so I mean, I could rock a
Honestly, they got a great brand.
They do.
They do.
They do.
It's not a great brand on the field, but it's a great brand.
Everything else is great.
Yeah.
Just not on the field where you need it the most.
Right.
So, our next... Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. We do have
Whoa.
another question from Golden. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson for MVP? We finally get to answer that question.
I'm going to go... And it's tough. Lamar has better stats than he did in his MVP season last year. But I think voter fatigue is a thing, and I think Josh Allen is going to win it.
Who's going to win it? I think Josh Allen's going to win it. Who is, in my opinion, the MVP? It's Lamar Jackson. I think the narrative has been in Josh Allen's favor for such a long time, and he never did anything to fall out of that position, which is why he's probably going to win it. But if you just stack up the numbers, also, the Ravens beat the Bills head to head. I don't know if anyone really takes that into consideration, but that's something. Lamar Jackson had, I think, statistically the best season of his career, and he just won MVP last year. So yeah, you're right. There is voter fatigue.
Beefs. The Bills are a 2 seed as well.
Yep, they did.
Matters.
Yeah,
Those would beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
So
yeah, there's a lot of things in Josh's favor from a narrative standpoint, but
it's just his time. I mean, Lamar. Would I be shocked? No.
Yeah.
If he won it, but I think it's going to be Josh Allen.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too because last year Lamar won it with not his best statistical season by most metrics, but he had the narrative in his favor.
Yeah. Our next question is from Z Panch. Do you say Panch or Punch? It's Panch.
Should be Panch, but when you see it, it's Punch. You know.
Yeah. She asks, "Do you kiss?" I kiss Devin all the time.
I kiss the rings all the time. Me and Gage have never kissed. So.
We have
not on the mouth.
No, I maybe kissed you on the cheek.
Yeah, I was gonna
never
say.
Kissed you on the mouth
I feel like we both probably kiss each other on the cheek, but never on the mouth.
Never on the mouth. Sorry,
So,
Zoe.
yep.
I know it's your wildest dream,
Yeah.
but we have not kissed.
You're very horny thinking about that, aren't you?
Chill. Whoa. No, it's okay.
And last but not least, from Macha Dad, another non-sports related question, but we love this one. Do y'all swerve and bend the corner?
Whoa. I have to admit, that song was stuck in my head the first half of the day, and I hate it. Actually, I don't hate the song. I hate that it was stuck in my head all day.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of catchy.
It's catchy. Yeah. It's funny how much it's all over social media.
Oh my God.
Like every other freaking reel I see has that in the background.
It's so funny, though. But hey, you got to give it to LeAngelo Ball. Because the NBA career clearly isn't going to happen.
Right.
But he's trying something else. I even saw that he's going to be at Rolling Loud, one of the festivals.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's not headlining.
Does he have more than one song?
I think he's probably working on it.
Okay. He better be.
He has to. What else is going to be a 3-minute set?
Right.
Although I think, I would guarantee if he does a set, or when he does a set at Rolling Loud, it's going to be probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah, it can't be.
He's not going to be pumping out an hour.
No.
Unless he drops an album before that, which is possible.
Yeah, it's possible. But yeah, funny stuff. I do love the meme about this song is the biggest song of 2025 and 2005 at the same time.
It is funny how it has that sound.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of.
Yeah. Straight out of NBA Street.
That being said, I do not want the 2005 sound to make a comeback.
It doesn't need to.
That was a time,
Yeah.
You hear it once in a while, you hear it in the club by 50 Cent, and you're like, okay, this is cool, but I don't need that coming back. I'm cool with what's now. You know what I mean?
Watch it make a comeback and just be massive.
Oh my God.
Bigger than it was before.
No, I'm about all that. And that's Q&A. Thank you for asking the questions.
Absolutely. Good set of questions there. Once again, Nico, you failed to make the cut with your question.
Yeah. Nico did ask us a question. Yeah. Again, it was inappropriate.
A little too X-rated.
We'll get some text asking what it was, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as the last one.
Yeah, what was the last one?
I'm not going to say it out loud. But yes.
I'm trying to think about what it was.
I'll remind you what it was after. I think I remember. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Moving on.
NFL Postseason Preview.
It's here.
It is here. Playoff predictions.
Since our Super Bowl winners are already out of the playoffs that we face.
Who did you have on the other side?
I did have the Eagles losing in the Super Bowl to the Bengals, and I feel good about them getting back to the Super Bowl and losing.
I had the Ravens going and losing, so I feel okay about that.
Yeah,
not
very possible.
Super high on it, but I think it's in the realm of possibility as of right now.
I mean, who would you take to be in the Super Bowl right now if you had to put your life on it? Like I put you there.
The whole Eagles thing's really messing things up for me right now because I'd probably pick them if Jalen Hurts was healthy right now.
Yeah. Part of me feels like they can still beat the Packers without Jalen Hurts. I don't know why.
I think life on the line, Bills-Lions.
Bills-Lions. I think I'm gonna go Chiefs-Eagles.
Wow.
I feel good about the Chiefs-Eagles.
Yeah.
As long as the Eagles can get through, and I mean Jalen Hurts was practicing. It's just a matter of whether or not he can pass concussion protocols.
Yeah.
So
in the AFC wildcard matchups, we have the Chargers -3 at the Texans, Steelers at Ravens -9.5, Broncos at Bills -8.5. Those are
not the greatest matchups on paper, to be honest. I mean, Chargers Texans is obviously the closest to a toss-up, but we both obviously expect the Bills and Ravens to win those games.
You get a nice AFC North matchup.
Yeah,
Ravens
Steelers. That's fun. I mean that has potential for something weird to happen, but the other two games, or at least the Bills, I expect them to beat Denver. Yeah.
On the NFC side, the wild card matchups are Packers at Eagles -4.5, Commanders at Buccaneers -3.5, and Vikings -1 at Rams.
Even though I don't expect either of these teams to make a run, I think Bucs Commanders is going to be an interesting game.
I think so too.
I think it should be fun. I'm curious to see what Jaden Daniels can bring as a rookie in the playoffs. But yeah,
the Eagles one is really tough because we don't know if Jalen Hurts is playing.
Right.
Still dealing with that concussion protocol.
Yeah. Jordan Love's got a shoulder injury that he's battling through.
And man, I would love to see the Eagles lose because Jalen Hurts didn't play. I really would.
Yeah. And then honestly, on paper, like Vikings-Rams is pretty good.
Yeah.
We talked about how the Rams already beat the Vikings this year.
Could be a trap game for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, they're obviously going to be, coming off a tough loss. They're going to be hopefully motivated to put together a good game.
Yep. So wildcard picks. Emerson, you start us off.
Yeah, I got 5 picks. You got 4 this week. We battled it out to try and avoid that Philly Green Bay game.
And we did.
And I was stuck with it. But my picks, I'm starting off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -3. I'm going to take them to cover against Washington. I'm taking a little bit more playoff experience there. I'm also taking the Chargers at the -3 at the Texans. I like the Jim Harbaugh factor here. Houston also was just like a very disappointing 10-17.
And they're banged up.
Yeah, a little banged up too. So I like the Chargers there. I'm also going to take the Steelers +9.5 at the Ravens. I don't think they win, but I think they keep it interesting. Also, Lamar's got a lot to prove on the playoff stage. A lot of his worst games have come in the postseason. I'm also going to go with the Vikings -1. I wasn't going to pick them, but I think this is going to be a tough game on both sides. Should be fun to watch. So yeah, I'm taking them at the Rams -1, and then I did go ahead and take the Eagles -4.5 at home against Green Bay. See what happens. Hopefully Jalen Hurts plays for my sake.
Yeah, because if not, you're gonna be like, ugh, should not have picked that.
You're right. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go Buffalo -8.5 versus Denver. Buffalo has not lost at home all season, and I think they could cover more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are a cool story, but I don't see them winning this football game.
It's going to be chilly.
I'm going to go Rams +1 versus Minnesota. Like I said earlier, trap game. I think you can't be confident as a Vikings fan going into this game. You're on the road. I know it's a dome.
Yeah.
And who even knows what's going on in LA?
I know. I was just going to say that game might be in Arizona. Honestly, that's what they're talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's they're going to wait to decide because the game's not until Monday.
Oh,
so they have a lot of time to figure that out.
A good amount of time.
Yeah.
Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, battle tested. They know how to win.
Yep.
And I've said it. I can't picture deep playoff runs by Sam Darnold.
It doesn't sound right on paper.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I'm going to go Baltimore minus 9.5 at Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's a big number. But Lamar Jackson has that history of not playing well against the Steelers, although when I picked against him,
of course,
they blew the Steelers out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll with that.
Yeah.
I'll roll with that. Sorry, Lamar. I doubted you,
Yeah.
and you made me play.
I'll never do it again.
Never do it again. I think they can cover. The Steelers have been on a downward spiral ever since they won 10 games.
Like, if they win this game 27-17, even by more than that, I wouldn't be shocked.
No.
But, the Steelers have been reeling, no doubt.
And I'm going to go Washington +3 at Tampa Bay because I kind of had to. I was dancing around the Eagles game.
Yeah.
But I could see Jaden Daniels winning this game.
Yeah, it's probably a go either way game just because the reason I like Tampa is just the uncertainty with Washington being a very young team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
that game will be fun.
Yeah.
That game, I think that one, and I think that one's the one where I could see either team winning.
Yeah.
Every other game,
Minnesota LA I think is pretty
so?
pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Eagles game, I guess if Jalen Hurts does play, I could see the Packers winning that, but you got to go into the link. I'm not liking that for the Packers.
Right.
Not to say the Packers can't play on the road, outdoor, in a cold city, because they're used to that.
Right.
Maybe not on the road, but playing in a cold city.
Right.
Besides that, the Chargers, Texans maybe could be a close matchup.
Yeah. I mean, does Justin Herbert have a playoff win yet? I don't think he does. Because they were part of that meltdown.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, against the Jags. Yeah.
So. And I think this is a big game for Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Because we hear it all the time. He has all the arm talent. He has what you want in a quarterback. How he looks.
Yeah, everyone wants to put him in the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes conversation.
So I think with a win against the Texans,
it
could be huge for what people think about him going forward.
Right,
and if he loses, it's like, I mean, they're not gonna get rid of Justin Herbert, but they kind of have to think, what can we do team wise to help this guy out?
Right,
because he's not a guy who's going to be able to do it on his own like a Mahomes.
Yeah. No, yeah, and then if they do win, they'd likely be playing Kansas City, and that's another chance to prove yourself. No one's going to expect you to win that game, but if you play a tight game, play better than expected, that could be huge. Because
it's looking like right now, the Chiefs are not going to have to play both the Bills and the Ravens.
It'll be one or the other,
which I think is big for them.
Yeah,
like I mean, you got to play one of them, but at least you don't have to play both of them.
Yeah. Yep. Should be, I've been ready for the postseason for a long time. And not just because the Niners have been out of it, but it feels like the teams that were going to be in the playoffs, we kind of knew this for a long time.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot that came down to the wire. Okay. Think we're here.
Is that time?
I think so.
It's the last call. Nothing on that one. There we go. My Kings beat the Warriors on Sunday, 129-99. I will always mention that.
Is that the first time they played this year? Or did the Warriors get them once already? I'm trying to remember.
It feels like they might have played once already. Don't know off the top of my head.
Anyways.
The Kings are actually on a 5-game win streak.
Heater.
They have not lost since Doug Christie took over as the interim head coach. Sorry, Mike Brown, but we'll see. And this is all fun and games until the Kings got to go to Boston and play Celtics, because that game will not be pretty.
That's on Friday, right?
Yeah. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and I watched pretty much the whole game of the double overtime win against the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Love that grittiness type of win by the Kings.
Yeah. Got to have them.
Love that. I mean, Jimmy Butler's not playing. Whatever. You got to play who's in front of you.
Yep.
And that was a huge win. De'Aaron Fox didn't play in that game either, so it's kind of evens it out.
Yeah, honestly, De'Aaron Fox probably more valuable for the Kings than Jimmy Butler is for the Heat right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So shout out to my Kings, because they have not started the season out well, but I like what they're doing for Doug Christie at the moment.
Yep. How about Justin Verlander going to the Giants?
Wearing the sweatshirt, baby.
We came dripped.
Love it.
It's an interesting move. I'm surprised that he signed with the Giants of all the teams.
Yeah.
I think it's a win. It's a can't lose situation for the Giants. It's 1 year, $15 million, which in today's day and age is really nothing. They always say there's no such thing as a bad 1 year contract. He's a veteran. Someone compared it to like the Randy Johnson move that the Giants made, however many years ago that was, when they had a bunch of young pitchers like Tim Lincecum and Matt Cain and all those guys. And honestly, I think Justin Verlander can be a lot better than Randy Johnson was for the Giants that year.
Because according to Danny, Randy Johnson was good for us, in his words, for the Giants that year.
He wasn't. But
hey, won his 300th game, though.
He did win his 300th game.
And Justin Verlander is like at 260.
Yeah, he needs like 30, almost 40 wins to get to 300. Probably not going to happen.
Because he's like the last pitcher who's close right now, right?
Yeah.
Of the active pitchers.
Yeah, I think he's the last one that is going to have a chance. 'Cause I don't think Scherzer's really that close.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's not going to take the Giants over the top by any means. But I think it could be a shot in the arm if he has a nice bounce back season after coming off a tough 2024. And we're really not that far removed from him winning a Cy Young, which happened in 2022.
Yeah.
And he was a big part of the Astros playoff teams in 2022 and 2023. So,
what is he? 2-time champion, 3-time Cy Young,
Yep.
MVP.
MVP, yep.
I mean, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be cool seeing a Hall of Fame legend with the Giants jersey on.
Yeah.
Later in his career, I also want to know what number he's gonna wear.
Yep.
Because they should not give him 35.
I don't think there's any way they give him 35. Yeah.
I just don't.
That'd be crazy.
I don't think they're gonna retire 35 for Brandon Crawford. I just think it needs to breathe.
They might eventually.
You think so?
But yeah, I'd be shocked if they let him wear 35. And I feel like, Justin Verlander played against Brandon Crawford in the World Series, and I think he understands that 35 is probably not on the table.
And Emerson's also stoked because Kate Upton's going to be at Giants games.
Can't wait. I'll be at all of them too. Every time Verlander's pitching, you'll see me there.
It should be in the box, but
I'll get my binoculars out.
The sick thing is you can bring binoculars to a baseball game
and not look like a weirdo.
They're like, sir, the home plate's down there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry.
There's some fox in the box.
Yeah.
Wasn't trying to run, honestly.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it.
Not at all. I like the fact that he chose a Giant. I mean, maybe he wasn't getting much as far as contract offers from contending teams, but no, I think it's cool.
And it's only a 1-year deal, right?
1-year deal, yeah.
All right, so let's try to get no hitter out of him or something.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. He's no Blix now.
No.
We got CFP semifinals tomorrow on Friday. I think tomorrow's game is Notre Dame and Penn State, and then Ohio State, Texas on Friday. That should be fun.
Can't wait for those.
Our picks are already in. You're taking Ohio State -6, right?
I believe so.
And I have Penn State plus a 1.5.
Yeah.
Or 2.5. 1.5, 2.5, something like that.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about the structure and the schedule of the CFP.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me, or does it seem like the 2 games are happening, which are the 2 games before the championship game, correct?
Right.
Have absolutely no juice because it's the same week as the NFL playoffs starting. Is that something they need to work on?
I don't totally disagree with you.
Because it's just like, I feel like nobody's really talking about it because we're all stoked for the NFL starting.
Right.
Or the NFL playoffs starting.
Yeah. Well, it's also like they put basically like 10 days in between each round, which just feels like a long time, you know? I mean, this whole thing's going to go on for like a month or something like that.
Yeah, so when's the championship game? Like 20th?
The 20th, yeah. So, yeah, I think they could tighten some things up. Someone made a suggestion in years past.
The reason why these games are on Thursday and Friday is because they're not going to compete with the NFL.
Correct.
On Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Or Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Right. I'm trying to remember when the games were in the past. Were they weren't Thursday, Friday, were they?
Well, it didn't matter because they were games.
Oh, they were just around New Year's
Day.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? So everybody was excited because that's when it was. Because the NFL might have had some New Year's Day-ish, but I think the college football always had their own day for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they just put it on whatever day the bowl was scheduled to be anyways. Yeah, that's right.
So that's just my qualm with it is like, it's exciting. The games are happening, but I'm like, eh.
Yeah. Well, someone made a suggestion that they should put the national championship game on probably the first Saturday of the NFL playoffs and have it be right before one of the games. And then so you watch the CFP national championship game and then it goes right into the NFL. So you've kind of got your day already geared up for football and you kind of watching, the stars of the future play in the championship game right before the NFL playoffs start. So then, because we're gonna be thinking about the NFL playoffs for 2 weeks before we see the championship game after these semis happen. So
because they wouldn't think about doing it the day after the Super Bowl. the national championship.
Well, it's too late.
Too late. Yeah, it's just too late.
It's too late. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they could do it better, but
and also, people are going to laugh, but Daytona isn't that always the day?
It's the
the next week.
It's the week
me.
after,
Okay, next week. Yeah.
But yeah, they could do a better job of it. I think maybe they just don't need to drag it out as long as they do. But I know that they have to put those bowl games sometimes in the middle of the week, so that's probably why it is that way.
So I don't know. It's just my.
No, I don't think it's a. I think it's a very valid point. But we got Thursday football tomorrow.
We do. One thing I wanted to mention real quick is the Bulls are going to retire Derrick Rose as number 1 next season.
Nice. I think it's deserved.
You think it's deserved?
Yeah.
I think it is too.
And won MVP, won a lot of big playoff series.
Just ran into the Heat too many times.
Ran into the Heat. He was injured, some of those times as well.
Yeah.
I was watching some of his highlights the other day, and they had some good battles against the Cavs in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
When LeBron was still there.
Yeah. Chicago native Derrick Rose is youngest MVP in NBA history. He was 22 when he won the MVP.
That's fucking crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And then he played 8 seasons with the Bulls. Obviously, got hurt. Wasn't the same. But I think you can't tell the history of the Chicago Bulls without Derrick Rose, and I think it's deserving that he's going to have his number 1.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I can't even imagine being in his shoes. Being from Chicago, probably grew up a Bulls fan, and be able to see his number up there next to Jordan Pippen.
It's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah. No doubt. All right, one last reminder. Join our NFL Playoff Bracket Challenge. $10 buy-in.
Please.
Venmo me to enter, and good luck.
Yeah, I need it. I definitely need it.
All right.
With that being said, we will see you guys next time.
Peace.